Battle Through the Heavens God, the Flame Emperor Chapter 311, Weird Golden Dirt. Master, this Dode river seems to have no end, and it looks like it's going farther and farther. Xiaoyan also flew in Dode river for a long time, and also found something wrong. Hehe, you're going to the right place. This is just some means of defense for the owner of the 10th rank Dode body. After all, this 10th rank Dode body is not only extremely powerful in this burning incense pavilion, it is the only one that terrifies the entire Suan, so some special methods are reasonable. Having said that, but in my eyes, it's just a blindfold, and it's not very useful. The Golden Dragon King also smiled slowly, obviously gaining a lot of dragon energy in the secret realm of the Yin Corpse forest, which made the Golden Dragon King's strength. It has also recovered a lot. Xiaoyan can hear that his master, the Golden Dragon King, now has a lot of confidence. This confidence often comes from strong strength. According to Xiaoyan's guess, the current strength of his master, the Golden Dragon King, is not as strong as that of the Xuanling King, but he is definitely not weaker than Mu Sizi. Cheng Yu is a strong man of the 7-star Dode. As for their deputy hall master, Mu Sizi, his strength should be stronger than Cheng Yu. The strength of King Xuanling is that he stepped into the realm of 9-star Do Emperor and entered the realm of rank 9. Therefore, the current strength of his master Dragon King should be between Mu Sizi and Xuanling King. Wait a minute. Just as Xiaoyan came to a place where the light was not very bright, the voice of the Golden Dragon King appeared. Huh. Hearing this, Xiaoyan also stopped his speed, and then stood blankly above the void of Dode River. The energy fluctuations here. It seems to be different from other places. Xiaoyan also discovered something after careful investigation. It seems that the space around him is quite strange. The other forces in this space are far away, as if they are very afraid of the space where Xiaoyan is. Roar. The Golden Dragon King also snorted viciously at the space in front of him, and then Xiaoyan also discovered that the space in front of him seemed to have some squirming changes under the roar of his master, the Golden Dragon King. In the sky originally covered with white light, a golden door appeared at this time, and I don't know where it leads. Follow me, the Golden Dragon King also said, and then walked in first. When Xiaoyan heard the words, he hurriedly followed. Just stepping into the doorway in front of him, Xiaoyan's first feeling was that he had entered a strange space. However, I remembered what Mu Sizi said, so I thought that coming to this strange space was also a space to obtain the body of a Dode. Be careful, this is an independent space, and it should be the place where the 10th rank Dode body exists. However, the 10th rank Dode body is not so easy to obtain. The Golden Dragon King's voice also said slowly. Shabu Shabu. Xiaoyan and the Golden Dragon King, when their figures moved, the scene in front of them also changed, and the next moment, their eyes brightened. The first thing that caught Xiaoyan's eyes was a relatively flat piece of land. On top of the ground, the golden soil also attracted Xiaoyan's attention. How come the soil here is golden? Xiaoyan also wondered, and the next moment, a huge soul force was instantly covered. Shabu. At the moment when Xiaoyan's enormous soul power appeared, the golden soil also changed, and then at a speed visible to the naked eye, it devoured the invisible soul power displayed by Xiaoyan. What exactly is this golden clay? It can actually devour my soul power. Xiaoyan was also shocked. Obviously he did not expect that the seemingly ordinary golden clay in front of him contained such terrifying power. Moreover, it was the first time that Xiaoyan saw such a strange phenomenon, and he immediately looked around with vigilance. His eyes kept sweeping back and forth, and he found that nothing was out of the ordinary, and then he frowned. Could it be wrong? Xiaoyan also said. Because what appeared in front of Xiaoyan at this time was only a piece of extremely flat golden soil, and as for the land, there was nothing. Master. Xiaoyan also raised his voice by a few decibels, and then slowly faced his master Dragon King standing above his head. Looks like we did nothing wrong. The body of the 10th rank fighting emperor should be here. The Golden Dragon King also laughed. The next moment, the Golden Dragon King also continued. Look at the golden clay in front of you and show your spiritual power. Yeah. Xiaoyan heard that, although he didn't know why, he suppressed his curiosity, then closed his eyes, and communicated with the inscription of magic movement in the depths of Soul River in his body. Boom boom boom. Xiaoyan also directly summoned the Divine Movement Core inscription, and then an invisible force slowly radiated from the Divine Movement Core inscription. Immediately, an invisible spiritual force also filled this golden land. Just as Xiaoyan opened his eyes, he felt a strange aura, and then the next moment, the golden soil beneath his feet seemed to have life, and an ancient aura appeared instantly along with the golden light that filled the entire space. With the appearance of golden rays of light, above the originally empty golden land, a splendid golden hall slowly rose up. The main hall is in the shape of a circle, and it seems to be closed, and there is no trace of it from the outside, but it is certain that this main hall should be the place where the body of the 10th rank Dodi is stored. Besides this hall, the most striking thing is the top of the hall. Somewhere, there seems to be a lifelike statue. The statue stood slowly, pointing at the sky with one hand, and the other hand behind the back opened her mouth slightly, obviously telling something. If you look closely, you can see that the pupil of the statue is between the eyes. It also slowly exudes a different look. A statue can actually do so much, and the person who carved it is enough to be called a master craftsman. I don't know why, the moment Xiaoyan saw this statue, he felt a sense of fear in his heart. It looks like the statue is alive. This breath. Do11. The Golden Dragon King's voice increased a few decibels obviously, and then stared at the top of a great hall. On the top of the main hall, a statue is slowly standing on it. And even if they were far apart, Xiaoyan could feel an aura of destruction from this statue. Do11. Xiaoyan was also puzzled, and then looked at his master, the Golden Dragon King, with a murmur. I didn't expect to meet the immortal emperor here. There was still a lot of surprise in the voice of the Golden Dragon King, and after a short period of surprise, he also recovered, and then his eyes sank slightly, and he said, "This Do11 is a hero. Remember that tens of thousands of years ago, the demon invaded the human world on a large scale. With his own strength, this Do11 forcibly resisted the two Do11 level powerhouses of the demons." Jin Long's flat voice, but hearing Xiaoyan's ears, there was a violent wave. Chapter 312, Doxian. Relying on your own strength to deal with two emperor-level powerhouses from outsiders. Xiaoyan heard the words, his pupils shrank tightly, and then he said incredulously, "The two Doxian-level evil clan powerhouses, what does this mean?" Xiaoyan is very clear. The strength of the demon race is divided into 5 stages, which are the 5 realms of the Emperor of Heaven and Earth. Heaven-level demon are the weakest, and king-level demon are the strongest. But this Doxian-level demon from the outside world, you don't need to think about it, you know, the strength is definitely comparable to their human-level powerhouse. Even if the strength of the evil race outside the territory is not good enough, it is still comparable to the strong human beings Doxian. The Doxian relied on the 10th rank Dodi to deal with the two Doxian-level foreign evil races. How could Xiaoyan not be shocked by this? And the most important thing is that this immortal emperor is just a Dodi powerhouse at the peak of the 9-star Dodi. However, they were able to resist the two alien races that were comparable to the level of human beings Doxian. This was what surprised Xiaoyan the most. Some things, I will tell you slowly in the future. Now, let me tell you something first. The war tens of thousands of years ago was tragic. That would be at a time when our 7 realms were constantly in fighting, and the evil race from outside the territory led countless strong men to arrive in an instant. At that time, the 7 realms were also forced to end the infighting, because they knew that no matter how huge the resources and territory of each of the 7 realms were, if they were invaded by this evil race outside the realm, then it won't be their turn to fight for infighting. So this is the first time to end the infighting, condensing the battle of the supreme powers from the entire 7 worlds and countless planes. That battle lasted for several years, and in the end, at the cost of our 7 realms, we managed to repel the evil race from outside the territory. However, many of the powerhouses in the 7 realms either perished or fell into reincarnation. This immortal emperor is a fallen powerhouse. Because I remember clearly at the time, this immortal emperor, with the strength of the Dodi's peak, and with the help of his powerful 10th rank Dodi body, forcibly dragged the two emperor-level foreign evil races. Even if they were among the 7 realms, the reputation of this immortal emperor is also extremely loud. The Golden Dragon King also spoke slowly, obviously remembering some unpleasant memories. Xiaoyan was also silent. Obviously, Xiaoyan knew something about what his master, the Golden Dragon King, said. Among the 7 realms, each realm is composed of countless planes, and the planes of each realm are also divided into 3 types, upper, middle and lower. Just like the Douqi continent where they existed before, it was an intermediate plane. As for the current Doude continent, it is an advanced plane. The area of Doude continent is equivalent to 4 Douqi continents. Therefore, Xiaoyan is also aware of the Battle of the 7 Realms, and he also started the internal fight because he wanted to compete for resources and territory. However, Xiaoyan's thoughts did not stay on it for long, and his eyes returned to the statue above the main hall. Then, it should be the immortal emperor. Xiaoyan also murmured, and there was obviously a little more respect in his voice. This immortal emperor can rely on the strength of Doude's peak to forcefully hold down the 2 emperor-level foreign evil races. This righteousness of giving up his life is enough for Xiaoyan to respect. I didn't expect this immortal emperor to fall here. The Golden Dragon King's voice was full of deep regret. If it wasn't for the infighting among the top powers in the 7 realms, the original battle would not have been so tragic, and given some time to the immortal emperor, the Golden Dragon King also believed that the immortal emperor would definitely become a fighting immortal. Even stronger? It's a pity that the time does not wait for me. This immortal emperor has fallen. Although there is the immortal emperor's 10th rank Dou emperor's body here, there is no immortal emperor's inheritance. I think the immortal emperor is also to guard against foreign evil races, so the 10th rank Dou emperor's body is separated from his own inheritance. So this doesn't seem to be the place where the immortal emperor fell. The Golden Dragon King said after feeling it. Let's go. Today is to let me take out the 10th rank fighting emperor who is enough to shock the crowd, and let the light of the immortal emperor reappear. The Golden Dragon King also said, but there was a little more regret in his voice. Well, Xiaoyan also responded. Obviously Xiaoyan also knew that the fall of this immortal emperor was quite a pity. You must know that this immortal emperor can drag 2 foreign evil races that are comparable to the level of human fighting immortals with the strength of the peak of the emperor. If he grows up by the immortal emperor, he will be strong enough to attack the level of fighting gods. However, Xiaoyan did not hesitate, and then walked slowly towards the Golden Hall with vigorous steps. It's just that Xiaoyan didn't realize that as he got closer to the hall, the statue standing on the top of the hall slowly woke up like snow turned into ice. 1 step. Step 2. In just a few moments, Xiaoyan also came to the door of the main hall. The gate at the entrance of the main hall is 10 meters high. Looking at the magnificent gate of the main hall, Xiaoyan felt that this splendor was not the original appearance of the main hall. This golden light seems to be emanating from something. Senior, I have offended you. Xiaoyan also bowed slightly to the door of the main hall, and took a deep breath. The grudge in his body was pushed to the limit, and then both hands fiercely grasped the door handle on the door. Shabu shabu. The next moment, Xiaoyan also suddenly pulled, and suddenly, the door of the main hall, which was tightly closed, also slowly opened. Following that, an extremely ancient aura also emanated from the hall. Opening the door, Xiaoyan also walked in. The interior of the hall is extremely empty. Looking around, there is a circular hall with a radius of nearly 1,000 meters. It's just that in the main hall at this time, a golden body also slowly appeared in the center of the hall. This is. Xiaoyan also shrank his pupils tightly, obviously feeling a familiar smell from the golden body in the center of the hall. That is, the body of a 10th grade fighting emperor? Xiaoyan also murmured and looked at the center of the hall. It seems that there is a strange heat in his pupils. The immortal emperor was able to rely on the strength of the Dou emperor's peak to forcibly confront 2 foreign powerhouses that were comparable to the level of human Dou Xian, and he must have been able to do without the credit of this 10th rank Doude. You are the 3rd person to come here. A soft voice also slowly echoed in the hall. At the same time, the door of the main hall was also closed heavily. The immortal emperor. It's such a terrifying power. However, I, Xiaoyan, have made up my mind about this 10th rank fighting emperor. Xiaoyan also gritted his teeth. The voice just now was uttered by the statue standing on the top of the hall, a remnant soul left by the immortal emperor. It's just that even a mere remnant of the immortal emperor's remnant, the pressure on Xiaoyan is really not small. Following the voice of the immortal emperor, an indescribable terrifying pressure also rushed towards Xiaoyan instantly. The terrifying pressure swept out from Xiaoyan's limbs and bones. At the same time, Xiaoyan's body suddenly collapsed, and even the ground where he was standing collapsed several meters. This immortal emperor's words, the power is so terrifying. Chapter 313, Hand in Hand. At this time, Xiaoyan didn't care about the creaking sound of the bones in his body, because Xiaoyan also knew that the most important thing right now was the immortal emperor in front of him. Xiaoyan also felt that the power radiated by this immortal emperor was much stronger than that of the Xuanling king. Faced with such a terrifying pressure, Xiaoyan gritted his teeth and looked at the figure in front of him stubbornly. It's actually a little guy in the intermediate level of the 4-star Dode. The immortal emperor was also extremely surprised. Xiaoyan heard the words, his face did not change color, and his footsteps were steady, and he walked up from the collapse step by step. Obviously, with Xiaoyan's strong ability to adapt, he has gradually adapted to the pressure of this immortal emperor. At least he will no longer collapse into the ground like a heavy stone on his back. It seems that this kid will not become arrogant because of our existence. The Golden Dragon King also stood aside, quite satisfied with Xiaoyan's actions. Long Yi also nodded slowly within the ancient ruler of eternal fire behind Xiaoyan, apparently agreeing with the words of the Golden Dragon King. Now Xiaoyan has the soul power of the Golden Dragon King, and Long Yi exists as an artifact spirit. The Golden Dragon King had warned him before, not to help Xiaoyan too much, and he still had to go on his own. Long Yi also agreed. It's just that when he hears such a gratifying voice from the Golden Dragon King now, Long Yi is also relieved, and at the same time, he also let go of his arrogance as a dragon, and prepares to concentrate on assisting Xiaoyan. After all, whether or not he can be reborn in the future depends on Xiaoyan, and he has already gambled everything on Xiaoyan. I remember 1,000 years ago, who came in an attempt to conquer my 10th rank Dode body. There was a 6-star Dode powerhouse, and another who had reached the peak of an 8-star Dode. It's been 1,000 years, and I don't know how strong these two are. Although the two of them have not conquered their own 10th rank fighting emperors, their talents are not weak, and they are also strong now. It seems to be called Old Bamboo. The other one seems to be the owner of the Burning Incense Pavilion. The immortal emperor also said. Slowly. Xiaoyan was also shocked for a short time, and then he came back to his senses and murmured to the immortal emperor, Senior, the immortal emperor is famous, and this junior is here just to test whether he can obtain these Dode body. Xiaoyan's voice sounded unevenly in the hall. The next moment, the golden light attached to the immortal great emperor was also slowly and obviously. Instead, the immortal great emperor in front of him also revealed his original appearance. Xiaoyan saw the immortal emperor's curly hair, and his deep pupils seemed to contain infinite power. He was dressed in a very simple cloth, and the corners of his mouth were also cracked with a charming arc, and a smile instantly filled out. But even though he is such a simple person, Xiaoyan knows how terrifying his energy is. Hehe, what a brave boy. Actually, I had the idea of being a 10th rank fighting emperor. The immortal emperor in front of him also smiled slowly. But the strong confidence in his voice could not be concealed. Although this immortal emperor's soul is only a remnant soul, it also exists to protect the body of this 10th rank fighting emperor. Let me ask, it would be as difficult as ascending to the sky to obtain the 10 rank Dode from such a terrifying immortal emperor. You can enter here, of course. It is not a general generation, but it is too naive to think that if you have the qualification to obtain my 10th rank Do Emperor. The immortal emperor also said slowly. Hey. Xiaoyan also sighed slowly. It seems that if you don't show some strength, it is obviously impossible to obtain the 10 rank Do Emperor of the immortal emperor in front of him. No matter what, this junior just wants to give it a try. Xiaoyan also muttered, then stared intently at the immortal emperor in front of him. At such a close distance, Xiaoyan can naturally feel an extremely terrifying power from the immortal emperor. That power seems to be invincible, as strong as iron, and it really deserves to be immortal. What a brave boy. But courage does not mean success. The immortal emperor also smiled, obviously satisfied with this Xiaoyan, but he also remembered some past events. It seems that he had such courage back then. If it weren't for the foreign evil clan to attack in their 7 realms infighting, his immortal emperor would not have fallen. But he didn't regret it. Although he paid the price with his life, he was proud of protecting one side of the land before. Show your strengths. If you get my approval, this 10th rank Do De body will be yours. If you can't get my approval, then go out. We don't need to waste time here. Looking for a Do Emperor's body, it's not worth entering the Do De River. The immortal emperor also spoke slowly. Hearing this, Xiaoyan's complexion also became heavy. The person in front of him has the power of the peak of Do De, and he can rely on the strength of Do De's peak to deal with 2 Emperor level 4 and evil races that are comparable to human Do Xian, even if there are remnants in front of them. Xiaoyan could not tolerate any slack in his body. Remember that this immortal emperor seems to have a deep connection with the Xiao clan. The Golden Dragon King also stood on top of Xiaoyan's head, and then stared at Xiaoyan carefully. A person's potential can often only be continuously stimulated in constant extreme battles, and this level of battle is also the fastest way to improve Xiaoyan. Furthermore, the Golden Dragon King also wanted to see where Xiaoyan's limits were now. Xiaoyan also moved when he heard the words. On Xiaoyan's body, a terrifying milky white flame instantly attached, and then the huge flame energy also slowly gathered on the ancient ruler behind him. At the same time, Long Yi on the ancient ruler also appeared. Obviously, Xiaoyan had to stand by in the face of the emperor who was as strong as Do 11. Roar. Long Yi's passionate dragon roar permeated the entire hall. It's actually a little guy with an artifact. But how does your ruler give me a familiar aura? The immortal emperor also pondered. Xiaoyan is holding the ancient ruler of eternal fire, and Long Yi is constantly surrounding the ruler of eternal fire. There is no doubt that once Xiaoyan launches an attack, the attack intensity will be even greater than before. Because in the past, most of Xiaoyan compressed his own power on the ancient ruler of eternal fire, and then burst out with terrifying destructive power. But it's different now. Long Yi has obtained the permission of the Golden Dragon King, so Xiaoyan's attack at this time will also be mixed with Long Yi's attack, and its attack strength is stronger than before. Terrifying energy appeared around Xiaoyan's body. The next moment, Xiaoyan's black pupils were tightly closed, and at the same time, an extremely terrifying wave of soul spread instantly. Huangqin's anger. Xiaoyan suddenly opened his eyes and shouted loudly. The terrifying soul attack went against the immortal emperor. The soul attack just came to the immortal emperor, and the immortal emperor also waved it. I didn't expect it to be an extremely rare soul attack. However, the difference between our strengths is too great. Otherwise, we would have been caught. The immortal emperor spoke slowly, and with a wave of his hand, Xiaoyan's terrifying soul attack stopped instantly. The first foot of the 7th layer of breaking the sky. The next moment, Xiaoyan's roaring voice also slowly appeared in the hall. A burst of terrifying flame energy mixed with the sky and covering the earth also radiated from the ancient ruler of the different fire, and then the next moment, under the control of Xiaoyan, he attacked the immortal emperor viciously. Chapter 314, The Accident Caused by the Xiao Ethnic Pattern. The first level of the 7-layered sky-breaking ruler. A terrifying voice echoed in the hall, and the next moment, Xiaoyan also held the ancient ruler tightly with both hands, and then waved viciously towards the position of the immortal emperor. A terrifying flame aura with the destruction of the sky and the earth accompanied Long Yi, and also attacked the immortal emperor viciously. It seems that the immortal emperor did not deliberately resist Xiaoyan's attack, and let Xiaoyan's attack fall on his body. Boom boom boom. The terrifying hundreds of fire energy attacked the immortal emperor's body abruptly, and an extremely hot temperature spread throughout the hall. Explode. Xiaoyan shouted in a deep voice, and the hundreds of fire energy that was deadlocked with the immortal emperor suddenly exploded. Brings a monstrous flame energy. The next moment, an extremely dazzling golden light also emerged from the center of the explosion. Haha, the little guy is really a good attack method. If it were an ordinary 5-star Do De, the terror would not be able to withstand your attack. The immortal emperor also spoke slowly, then smiled. Damn it. Xiaoyan also said solemnly. Although the 7th level breaking sky ruler is powerful, Xiaoyan has recently either participated in the points grabbing competition or joined the super sect, so he has no time to continue cultivating the following levels of the 7th level breaking heaven ruler. According to Xiaoyan's estimation, he can now grasp the 2nd and 3rd feat of the 7th heaven-shattering ruler. Of course, Xiaoyan also discovered that the first chi of the 7-layered sky-breaking ruler was no longer powerful enough to deal with the enemies he encountered. After all, the enemies Xiaoyan has encountered so far are all stronger than Xiaoyan. And even if he is stronger than Xiaoyan, as powerful as the 5-star Dode level, Xiaoyan is confident that he has the power to fight in one battle. It is just a pity that Xiaoyan's defense cannot cope with the attacks of the 5-star Dode powerhouses. So now Xiaoyan every time in the battle against the 5-star Dode, if you can't kill with one hit, then Xiaoyan's waiting will be a failure. After all, Xiaoyan is not afraid of the 5-star Dode. In terms of attack strength, Xiaoyan is more terrifying than the 5-star Dode. The only thing he is afraid of is that Xiaoyan's current defense is unable to withstand the attacks of the 5-star Dode. This is what caused Xiaoyan the most headache. Although your soul attack works well with this weapon's attack, your strength is too weak after all. If only you have these, then you can go back. The immortal emperor also said slowly, with an extremely terrifying pressure in his voice. Damn it! Is there no other way? Xiaoyan also muttered, obviously this immortal emperor's remnant soul, the current Xiaoyan is not enough to deal with. Xiaoyan casually held the ancient ruler of eternal fire in his right hand, and then raised his left hand, slowly stroking his forehead, where, it seems, that something is just about to move. I don't know what fighting skills this senior just displayed. Xiaoyan also wondered in his heart. Obviously, the dazzling golden light emitted by the immortal emperor just now made Xiaoyan feel like an ant, and Xiaoyan also knew that since the immortal emperor displayed that dazzling golden light, his own attack seemed to have hit General on an indestructible stone. This is what makes Xiaoyan feel helpless, because Xiaoyan has absolute confidence, even with his current strength, he can still leave a trace of scars on this immortal emperor. But I just don't know what's going on. The golden light that the immortal emperor just showed when he was dealing with his 7th layer breaking sky ruler seemed to be a terrifying thing. Boy, I feel that your flame is not an ordinary flame, right? But since you can come here, it's okay to tell you. The immortal emperor also laughed. Obviously, he saw Xiaoyan's question, but he was also surprised. This Xiaoyan's perception is really sharp, he just used his fighting skills. That's my famous fighting skill. Immortal Golden Body. The slow voice of the immortal emperor produced extreme shock in Xiaoyan's mind. Immortal Emperor. Immortal Golden Body. At this time, Xiaoyan's mind was like a cauldron exploded. Because my master, the Golden Dragon King, explained it to me before. The immortal emperor's famous fighting skill is the immortal golden body. The horror level of this immortal golden body can be called the first person under Do 11. Because the immortal golden body has no attack power, but it is more desirable than the huge attack power. The immortal golden body focuses on defense. It is a fighting skill that focuses on defense. Although there is no clear rank, but you don't need to think about it. You know that the rank of this immortal golden body can definitely be ranked in the holy rank. Moreover, the rank among the holy ranks will definitely not be low. Immortal Emperor, Immortal Golden Body. The immortal emperor stood at the peak of the Dode with his immortal golden body, and then with this immortal golden body, he also resisted 2 emperor-level evil races that were comparable to the level of human Docian. Immortal Golden Body is a defense method close to the limit. The immortal golden body can instantly solidify one's body and become as solid as gold, and there will also be a terrifying defensive shield around the caster. When the immortal golden body appears, the caster's own defense will also instantly increase by 5 times. The Golden Dragon King also said slowly, 5 times the defense power. Xiaoyan also took a deep breath, then looked at the simple man in front of him with shock. Instantaneous increase of 5 times the defense power. What does this mean? Xiaoyan is also very clear. Taking Xiaoyan as an example, if he just used all his strength to defend and not attack, the powerhouses in the late stage of the terrifying 4-star Dode could be dragged on for a while. But if you increase your defense by 5 times, Xiaoyan also has absolute self-confidence. Even the attack of a 6-star Dode perfect level powerhouse is like tickle Xiaoyan. Xiaoyan on the Doqi continent is full of attacking methods, and what he cultivates is also breaking out melee combat methods, striving for one-hit kills. For defense, there is also very little penetration. But when he came to Dota continent, Xiaoyan also found that without some powerful means of life-saving, it would be quite difficult to fight against some enemies at a higher level. The means of attack and fighting skills, Xiaoyan also learned too much, so don't worry, it's just that what Xiaoyan lacks at the moment is the means of defense. If the major problem of defensive means is solved, Xiaoyan also has the confidence to leapfrog battles without a problem. After all, in terms of the degree of violence, Xiaoyan is not inferior to anyone. But in terms of defense, it was Xiaoyan's weakness. It's no wonder that this immortal emperor was able to use the strength of Dodi's peak to hold down 2 foreign evil races that are comparable to human beings. Xiaoyan also murmured. There were a lot of shocks in his voice, but more what is respect is that such a strong powerhouse is sadly lost. Immortal golden body. Sure enough, it's a good thing. Xiaoyan also murmured. Then he also laughed, no longer covering up, his palm slightly raised, no longer covering his forehead. Skyfire 3 mysterious change. A silent voice also echoed in the hall. Xiaoyan's strength also soared in an instant, and in a blink of an eye, it was raised to the level of a 4-star Do Emperor. Peak level. At the same time, a wave of extreme fluctuations also emanated from Xiaoyan's forehead. This smell. Are you from the Xiao clan? The immortal emperor in front of him also slowly spit out a sentence when he saw the mysterious rune on Xiaoyan's forehead. Then the originally peaceful immortal emperor was also shocked at this time. Chapter 315, number 18 on the Holy Flame ranking list, Immortal Flame. Immortal Emperor, an extremely huge force, also instantly filled the hall, and then the immortal emperor also slowly shook his head. Then he also raised his forehead, and then looked at Xiaoyan's forehead. After confirming the degree, he also said, Xiao clan. There are still descendants. Xiaoyan could also hear that. There was an indescribable emotion in the voice of the immortal emperor. Senior, I've offended you? Xiaoyan also clenched his fists, and just about to launch an attack, he saw the immortal emperor in front of him slowly waving at Xiaoyan. Wait a minute. The immortal emperor also said slowly. Xiaoyan also didn't know what this immortal emperor was going to do. He just prompted his clan pattern, which was also pointed by his master Dragon King, so Xiaoyan did as well, but his master Dragon King was still watching the play. But Xiaoyan is also quite helpless about this. It seems that his master, the Golden Dragon King, will only take action when his life is in danger. Xiaoyan was also puzzled. Obviously, Xiaoyan didn't think that he could fight against the immortal emperor in front of him by relying on the power of Skyfire 3 mysterious change to reach the peak level of the 4-star Dodi. Are you really a member of the Xiao clan? The immortal emperor also asked. Obviously, although there are clan lines on the Xiao clan's forehead, the immortal emperor seems to have some doubts. This younger generation is indeed a member of the Xiao clan. The Xiao clan also said slowly, and then looked at the immortal emperor in front of him. The immortal emperor in front of him seemed to have a huge change in his mood after seeing the mysterious clan tattoo on Xiaoyan's forehead. It seems that his disdainful attitude towards himself has also undergone earth-shaking changes. Shabu shabu. When the immortal emperor heard this, his pupils also showed a hint of doubt, and the next moment, he suddenly came to Xiaoyan. The index finger of his right hand slowly swiped Xiaoyan's arm, and immediately a conspicuous wound appeared. 3 drops of blood flowed out, flowing directly onto the palm of the immortal emperor. Sissy. Xiaoyan was also a little bit in pain from this immortal emperor, so he couldn't help speaking out, but Xiaoyan also looked at this immortal emperor in doubt, not knowing what medicine this mighty gourd was selling. But what is even more terrifying is that when the immortal emperor came to Xiaoyan, the terrifying fluctuations from the peak of the Dode were also overwhelming Xiaoyan. With the departure of the immortal emperor, Xiaoyan's complexion returned to normal. Immediately, Xiaoyan's body vindictive energy was released, and the wound on his arm immediately healed. The 3 drops of blood also slowly stood in front of the immortal emperor. The immortal emperor also controlled the 3 drops of blood, and then sniffed next to his nose. It seems that you are indeed a member of the Xiao clan. The immortal emperor also laughed, but that invisible wave disappeared without a trace after the immortal emperor's voice. Even Xiaoyan felt an extremely gentle aura from the immortal emperor's body. and the douqi in his body was extremely greedy and attracted the golden light around the immortal emperor. I have a lot of connections with your Xiao clan. Now that I have met the descendants of your Xiao clan, it can be regarded as a repayment of the kindness of your Xiao clan to me. The immortal emperor also said slowly. This Xiaoyan also became stunned at this time. This immortal emperor is actually related to the Xiao clan he belongs to. Although Xiaoyan knew that his master Dragon King definitely knew something about his family's presence on the Dodic continent, but his master Dragon King also avoided mentioning it to himself. But even if he didn't mention it, Xiaoyan knew that on the Dodic continent, the Xiao clan seemed to be like a giant. With a giant-like existence, there are also many enemies, both overt and covert, so it makes perfect sense for his master, the Golden Dragon King, to tell him not to display this Xiao clan's tattoo unless he has to. After all, the enemies that their Xiao clan provoked are terrifying that Xiaoyan cannot handle now. Do you want to know? The immortal emperor also said slowly to Xiaoyan, but in his voice and expression, there was obviously no meaning of rejecting people thousands of miles away. The descendants of the great emperor are ordinary. Yes. Xiaoyan also said without hesitation. A lot of things require strength to know the qualifications. If his master, the Golden Dragon King, didn't say it, then this immortal emperor must know something, so Xiaoyan couldn't wait to know something about the Xiao clan. Many people only know that I am the immortal emperor, but they don't know much about my birth. I was born in a weak village in the Suanling continent, and my parents died when I was young. At that time, I was still a small 6-star dode. At that time, I was arrogant and decided to go to the mainland. First, it was to exercise myself, and secondly, I wanted to go out and see the outside world without any worries. In the decades of the world, I traveled to the Sifang continent above the Dode continent, and finally found a holy flame in a place called Tianya above the Tianxing continent. Holy flame. The immortal emperor also said slowly. Holy flame. The 18th on the holy flame ranking list, he possesses an extremely terrifying power of immortality. Xiaoyan heard the words, his pupils shrank tightly, and then he did not disturb the immortal emperor, but the shock in his heart was unparalleled. After encountering the holy flame, it was also a coincidence. At that time, I was the only one who discovered this holy flame, and no one else. At that time, I was already at the peak level of the 8-star dode, relied on his proud immortal golden body and the rarity of this holy flame, and also came up with the idea of taking it for myself. As soon as I say it, I prepared 10 days and 10 nights in Tianya, and finally took the risk of refining the holy flame into my body. In the end, I still underestimated the power of the holy flame, causing my physical body to be destroyed, and the soul power to fight against the immortal flame. It was almost close to death. Just when I was in despair, a person from your Xiao clan, an almighty Xiaoyan, also appeared, and with his strength at the level of Douxian, he reluctantly subdued the immortal saint flame. Speaking of which, Xiaoyan are also a real power. After conquering the immortal flame finally chose me among the two of us. Your senior Xiaoyan is not at all displeased, and not even worried about it. He condensed my body, and then give me this holy flame. So let's go away. The moment the immortal emperor spoke, his emotions were also extremely excited. This actually gave up on holy flame. Xiaoyan's pupils shrank tightly. At this time, and his face was full of disbelief. The rarity of the holy flame, even in comparison to the heavenly fire, is undoubtedly worse than that. Their ancestor of the Xiao clan, Xiaoyan, actually gave up such a powerful holy flame. It's no wonder that the immortal emperor is so excited to see their descendants of the Xiao clan. Let me ask, if someone saves you, and then gives away the holy flame that he got, who wouldn't be so grateful?
Hi. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to get updated on my latest video. Thank you for watching.